Hi everyone, welcome to Morphic Studio walkthrough. My name is Ishika and I'll be taking you through Morphic and helping you understand how to best use our core features. Let's get started. Once you log into Morphic, you're going to land inside of a Morphic file. Every Morphic file you create has its own Canvas, Copilot, and Compose. There are 3 tabs integrated into your file. So for Canvas, this is your open area where you're going to do all your generations and visualize them in one space. This is your core prompt bar where you're going to prompt for those generations. I have a few assets I've already generated, so you can see how it looks like when you're creating multiple scenes and visualizing them in one place. You can also upload your own assets directly into Canvas from your device. Now let's go to Copilot. So Copilot is like your internal ChatGPT. Think of it as your assistant. So anywhere you need help and just understanding what to do, you can just ask Copilot here directly as a chat. So for example, let's say you want to learn how to create a video on Morphic. So you can just type in, how do I create a video on Morphic? And Copilot will give you a step-by-step answer how to do it. It can also help you generate a few things as well. So let's say you want help ideating a story and creating a storyboard for that story. So I've uploaded a character here, right? And I've just asked Copilot to help me create the story and generate the storyboards. So it's generated a great story, and it's also given me, a storyboard for that story here using a reference. And anything you create on Copilot, you can always add it back to your canvas, which you can then work with further. On the third tab, you have Compose. Compose is like your built-in editor. So any video assets you generate on Morphic, you can piece them together here and visualize your story. Awesome. So we'll come back to Canvas and let's get started on our image pipelines. So to create an image on Morphic, you're going to actually just use this prompt bar right here. Now, this is where you'll be able to change between image and video for generating, but let's start with image. You can change your format here. We have a few options. And when creating an image, you can actually create that image as a specific style if you prefer. Now we have a few style options already built in, and I'll show you also how you can create your own style just a sec. So this is where you'll keep your style consistent. The same goes with character. Here's where you're going to select a character anytime you want to create a character-specific scene and keep your character consistent. I will also go into how you can create your own character shortly as well. And then you have your more preferences here. So let's start with a basic prompt. We'll just say a monkey sitting on a branch eating a banana. Now by default, with no style selected, Morphic will generate your prompt in photorealism. Now let's try the exact same prompt in a different style so you understand how the style gets locked in. So we'll try anime as well, and we'll also try a 3D kid style. So you'll get 3 generations for each of your prompts, and then you can choose the best one out of the 3. Awesome. So here are generations. So you can see the photorealism versus the anime versus the 3D kids. And this is how you get your styles out of your prompt. Now let's look at actually how do you create your own style and how do you create your own character. Now to create a style and character, you want to navigate back to your dashboard. So to do that, you're going to select your project name. And this is the dashboard area. Now this is where you'll be able to create even more files if you're working on more stories by clicking this blue button. Now to create the style, you'll head over on the left-hand side and select models. This is where you're going to train your style. You can see I have a bunch of them here already. Now to create your own style, you press the plus new model button here, and now you can choose between creating a style or a character. So for style, you would like to upload around 10 to 15 images or assets that showcase what your style looks like. So for example, I have created a style called pixelated style. So I want my images to be pixelated. And so I've uploaded a few images here that helps Morphic understand what does the pixelated style look like. And that's how you just create a style. So you'll upload the images, name it, and then press create. It'll take around 5 to 10 minutes to train, and then you'll get a notification once it's ready to be used. The same goes to the character. If you want to create a character to lock it and keep consistent, you want to upload images of your character directly here and name it, press create. So this is an example of Jack I've created. If you do not have these turnaround images, I'll show you also how you can create a character model from just a single image of your character. But this is where you lock in that character. Awesome. So we'll come back to the project, our file name, and now let's create an image with a character. So I just showed you Jack. So we can select Jack from our drop down here. I'm going to change this back to our default. So now if I want to create a video or image with Jack, I can just select Jack and say Jack is eating a sandwich in a car. And let's try a few more so you can see him doing different things. Is running in a marathon. Let's also do, so you can see Jack is still selected. Jack is on the beach playing volleyball. There we go. So there are different prompts of Jack being used, and now you can see kind of the scenes that get created with him. Awesome. So now you can see like a few of these images. You can always choose the best one that works for you. So here's Jack eating a sandwich. Here's him running and playing some volleyball. So he does stay consistent across the prompts you do generate with the character model. Awesome. So now, once you create your images, and let's say before going into the video pipeline, you want to tweak your frames a bit. We have a lot of in-depth granular editing workflows as well. So when you select on an image, you can actually do a lot of different things. Let's say this image is great, but you kind of want a more close-up shot. You can actually just prompt the edits you would like in your frame. So let's say you want a close-up, extreme close-up shot. You can just prompt that by selecting the image and using this prompt bar. I'll press generate. Now, we'll just work with this one image, so I'll just delete these two. So let's do the same. Parallelly and say wide angle shot, right? So you can just prompt the different camera angles you'd like. You can even also prompt like edits, like I said. So let's say I want him to wear sunglasses. You know, a monkey wears sunglasses. So you can just prompt the edits you'd like to see. Let's say make it night. It's daylight, let's make the scene night. So we just prompted a bunch of changes to the frame. Let's see how they all come out. Awesome. So now you can see all of the prompts that we've wanted to use to edit the frame. So here's the extreme close-up. Then here's the wide angle shot we prompted. This is the monkey wearing sunglasses. And here's the night shot. So you can prompt direct edits by selecting the image and writing what you'd like to edit. There are more ways to edit if you like granularly. So let's say, for example, you want to work with your frame in layers. You have the ability to actually extract layers out of your frame. So on the top bar, you'll see object selection. With object selection, you'll be able to detect different elements in the frame and extract the object you'd like. So let's say, for example, we want to remove, let's say the branch. Let's say we just want to remove the branch. So I can just select the branch and you'll see separate as a layer. And we can press that. Now it'll separate the branch as a layer. And as that happens, let's also look at how you can add elements as a layer as well. So to add an element as a layer, you'll have a region selection option. So when you select region selection, you can actually precisely put an element in the frame as you'd like. So let's say, let's add them over here. We want to add a mosquito, right? You can just describe what you want to add and press generate. So this will add a layer into the frame. Great, so now you can see this branch comes out, and now you can work with this however you like. You can put it back in the frame as well. And on the left-hand side, when you select your image, you can see the different layers of it and work with it accordingly. You can also export your asset as a layer if you'd like as well. Export as PNG, and you can export the layers individually as well by right-clicking. So here's the mosquito that is generated, and you can just press add, and now it's added it as a layer, which you can then tweak on later on. So this is how you work with layers and can refine your scene a bit more. Now that you know the image editing workflows, let's move on to the other image workflows and then get into the video. Now, before I mentioned that if you don't have the turnarounds of a character, right? And let's say you're working with a brand new character from scratch. Let's just generate, a woman with dark red hair, right? I only have this one image of her that I want to keep consistent. Let's pretend she's going to be our main character. Awesome. So this is her. Let's say we want her to be our main character. Now to train a model on her, you just select this image, and on the right hand side, you'll see create model. When you press create model, this is going to auto-generate all the profiles of her for you. And all you need to do is name it. So you can name her Alexia, for example, and wait for these to generate, and then press create model. Awesome. So you can see it's generated all of the side angles and close-ups for you. And all you do is press create model, and it will now populate here for you to use. Awesome. So that's how you create a character model from scratch. Now, a few more things. You can create really interesting frames of multiple characters if you would like. So let's say you have these two characters you want to create in a frame together. This is where you'll use your image referencing. So on this paperclip icon, you can press select on canvas. You can also directly upload your assets. And now when you upload the multiple characters you would like, you can now describe, both characters are riding a bike. And, you would get that sort of output when you press generate. Describe whatever the scene is, and you will get the output with the multiple characters. And you can even add in, for example, a background or object you want in your frame. That's what image referencing is good for. Multiple elements that you would like to keep in a single frame. And that's how you do it. Amazing. Awesome. So now that we've gone through a majority of our image workflows, let's move on to video. Now, in creating a story, we encourage you to first create the frames of the story and then turn those frames into video clips. So for example, let's say this is my frame. Now, that same prompt bar that pops up when you select an image, you'll see video option here when you tap on this. So I would select video. Now, here you'll be able to choose the type of model you would like to use. So we have a few. We have our default model. We have Sora 2, VO3, and 3.1, which both options have the ability to generate audio also if you would like by selecting this option. So for now, we'll select default. Again, you can change your aspect ratio as well. Now, from this frame, you're going to describe what motion you would like. So you can say the scuba diver is swimming and exploring. Right? And when you press generate, this is the sort of output you will get. Yes, awesome. Now that's how you create a video from an image. You can always do text to video as well if you want to create a video from scratch with just a prompt. So you can just select a video and then type in a prompt. A monkey eats a banana. And you can get a video directly from the prompt itself as well. So this is what we've generated, monkey eating a banana, from just a text to video. Now, that's how you create videos. One is by doing it from an image and transforming it to a video, or by text. Now, if you're looking to create a video with specific elements you'd like to keep consistent, so let's say you're doing a transition scene and these are your two frames that you would like in the video itself. You can actually drag and select both the frames, and you'll see an option to create video over here. So you can upload up to 5 keyframes and kind of now say that, the bike emerges as camera passes the window, right? So basically like a transition shot, and you can always select the duration between each shot as well. And you can press generate. Now, this allows you to create a video by directing your shot specifically. So this is the video it's created from these two. Awesome. Another good part is, given that it only maybe generates 8 seconds, you can always extract the last frame of a video to canvas and continue your video from there. This helps with video continuity as well. So from this frame, you can now just select video and continue whatever the next shot would look like. And when you piece it together, it will be a smooth continuity. Another thing you can do from video lens is video to video edits. So when you're on a video, you can actually just prompt an edit. So let's say it's night and heavy rainstorms. Awesome. So let's see. We have got the night scene with some rain in the background as well. Awesome. So that's how you can prompt video to video edits. Another thing you can do that's really cool is cut shots. So if you're creating a video and you would like multiple cuts in that video, you can actually just type it as a prompt. So for example, from this frame, I can type, the boy walks on the log, cut shot to this face showing him worried, cut shot to him jumping off the log. So I can select video and make sure you're on 1080p, and you could press generate and you would get a video like this with multiple cuts. Just like that. Now when creating a video with lip sync, for example, you want him to say a specific dialogue, you can select this, type in, that as a prompt. The man says, "Hi, my name is Mark." Like this in quotations, what the dialogue is. Make sure you're selecting one of the audio on options, VO3 audio, and we can press generate. And here we go with the audio.
Hi, my name is...
So this is how you generate a video with audio. One last thing I'd like to show you is our 3D motion. So if you're looking to create a 3D visual effect on your frames, when you select your frame, you'll see an option called 3D motion here. This is going to populate pre-render, which you can direct the keyframes of. So you can drag around the frame as you'd like. So you want to drag around to where you want your next shot to be, and you would press new position to lock that in. Now you can drag it in. We can even zoom in a bit as well. Let's press that as our new position and maybe end it off here. So this is how you direct the type of shots you would like for your 3D effect. Now, when you press play, you'll see a quick preview of what the motion would look like when you direct. And you can always adjust the pacing as well by dragging around these clips that you've selected. And you would just press generate. So here would be an example of a 3D motion output. So it's kind of going in and then out, just like that. Awesome. So that goes over a lot of our workflows on Morphic. You can always discover more as you use these. Now, when it comes to exporting, you want to select here. You can first upscale as well. You have the ability to upscale to 4K by selecting the right-hand side here. And once you've upscaled it, you can export your video directly by pressing the bottom bar here. You can also export as frames. Now, once you've exported everything, you can always then work on it later on and re-import it as well. I'll also quickly go through how you can upgrade your plan in case you run out of credits. So on the top left-hand side, you'll see what your credit and subscription looks like here. You can always buy credits over here in case you run out and you just want to buy a one-time credit pack instead of upgrading. So you can buy credit packs over here, which are valid for the days listed here. And anytime your plan resets, those credits will still remain until the expiry date occurs. And you can always upgrade your plan right here on the blue button. Awesome. I hope this was helpful. And if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to us at support@morphic.com, and we'd be happy to help you through any of your issues. Awesome. I'm looking forward to you guys using Morphic and can't wait to see what you create.